Okay, so this is just a video explaining the subtext in my transformation video. So my maxilla, it didn't grow because of my mouth breathing at night. It fell down. Like for example, right here, it's the bone is falling down, and or essentially even in the back, it's falling. It falls down in general, and basically the mandible is pulled backwards because there's no room for it to come out, because the maxilla is just falling down because of gravity pulling it down. And the only way for it to grow properly is if the tongue is pushing up against it. So after focusing a lot on overall body posture, I was able to fix my head, my skull, which was extending a lot. So a good way to compare pictures is the ear. So for example, here, both of my ears are relatively the same in angle. They're both pointing a little bit up. After a while of having your ear point up because of extending your neck, or extending your cranium, your ear's just gonna kind of mold that way. It'll come back down probably after a few years. But yeah, so this is probably neutral. This is correct position. Just the ear is now a little bit tilted up because of having my cranium tilted up for quite a while. When you mew or raise the tongue up to the roof, you have to engage your hyoid, it's the most important part to just activating the full tongue and neck. I'll talk about the neck in a separate video. The mandible came forward, as you can tell, just a little bit. I mean, in millimeters, it makes a difference because, I mean, this isn't even forward growth. It was almost just like released forward a little bit. It came forward a little bit because there wasn't so much. It pushing the maxilla a little bit up gave it more room. I'm not really sure why it came forward just a little bit. I just know that when you have a maxilla that's parallel to the floor, you're going to have a mandible that grows parallel to the floor, and that's the goal. You don't want a diagonal maxilla, and you don't want to make your maxilla appear to be parallel to the floor by extending your cranium. That's just not a good idea. So yeah, in all these pictures, my hyoid is pulled up, and that's just you want that all the time. And so yeah, because your tongue is essentially like the biggest muscle fighting against gravity, it's like your biggest anti-gravity muscle in your face, everything kind of became less droopy. I mean, also here, you can tell like my forehead is straighter, while right here, it's like my cranium was still slightly extended, or at least there was, I believe my head had distributed mass to the back of my head because I had been extending my cranium so much that, or at least lifting my cranium higher up or backwards. My body like allocated like tissue to the back of my head to even out, to balance out the weight. Yeah, so the philtrum is like your upper lip right here, and so as you can tell, it's more compact, and that's just because, like I said, your gravity isn't pulling your face anymore. Isn't pulling your face down anymore when you're able to use your tongue to push it up. Yeah, so I think the biggest difference and the most painful process was just changing my skull, and that was, most of it happened while I was asleep. I would fall asleep and mouth breathe, and to get oxygen, I would extend my neck, and in the process, my cranium would be lifted up. Yeah, it wasn't good. So yeah, the philtrum right here, it's just shorter, which is because my tongue is pushing up my mid face and making it smaller, which is right here. So right here, it's gonna continue to shrink as I continue to mew. Yeah, so like the suboccipitals are the back of the head, and like I said, I think from extending my cranium, my more weight was distributed to the back, actually like making it bigger, like an alien skull. So yeah, so like yeah, my maxilla is pretty high up here. It's good. It started to get picked up after lots of hard mewing, which is pretty crazy. So some comparisons to the ears. You just look at the angle of the ear, I suppose. Here, I think my head is actually tilted up a little bit in the older picture, as you can tell by the ears. Here, I'm tilting my head down, which is why, yeah. Never mind. Yeah. I think that's it.